Hey guys, it's Chey. Welcome to the channel if you are new, and if you're not, hey boo. So for today's video, I created this beautiful look that you see. This is actually a look that I was wearing in my Ulta haul, and I thought that it was perfect for Valentine's Day. And it's simple, it's really easy, it's mostly blush focused, and I mean the eyes are pretty simple, they're not doing too much. Just the lash is really what makes the eye with the pop of pink in the waterline. And I really like how this look turned out. The contacts are from Ttdeye, and you can use my code CHEY20 if you want to save some money. I will have the name of the contacts I'm wearing listed in the description box. Behind me is my 10-year-old baby Bandit. So he's not really a baby anymore, but he likes to just snooze and chill with me. Nico is not too far away. He's actually sleeping on the floor next to me in his little puppy bed. This look is super beginner friendly, and I feel like this is a really cute Valentine's Day look without doing too much. I did use mostly drugstore products, so that is a plus. But if you guys like this look, if you like my vibe, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without any further ado, we're gonna get into this cute, flirty, pink Valentine's Day inspired look.
All right, so we are jumping into the video, and y'all, let's take a moment for the skin. The skin has been giving, okay? And to enhance this beautiful glow, we're gonna be taking the L'Oreal LUMI GLOTION, and this has been a new favorite product of mine. I just love how it looks on the skin, and it doesn't give that Tin Man feel, but it gives that healthy glow from within. So we're gonna go ahead and do our brows off camera, and now we are back with the brows snatched. So now we're gonna work on filling in these ginormous pores. So I'm mainly focusing this in my T-zone. So on my cheek area, I do have the biggest pores, but essentially I just put this all over my face so that everything is nice and blurred and smooth. So now we're gonna get into color correcting. My under eyes aren't looking too bad. I changed up my eye cream and I've been getting more rest. And while that's drying down, I'm taking this Maybelline lifter stick, and I'm using this as my cream bronzer, and the shade looks so beautiful. I honestly love using a contour stick or bronzer stick because it's just easy to apply on the face in the areas where I want. So I'm just doing my nose, and then I want the eyes to be lifted, so I'm just adding that on the outer corner of my eye. And then we're gonna go ahead and start blending out that color corrector. And as you can see, what dark circles, okay, the little bit that was there are completely gone, so everything is nice and neutralized. And now we're going to go ahead and go around the mouth, and using a brush takes quite a bit of time, and I wasn't really super precise when blending out the mouth area, so I'm actually going to go over everything with this sponge just to make sure everything is nice and blended. And as you can see, the face is looking super just even toned. So now we're starting out to blend out that lifter stick from Maybelline, and as you can see, it blended beautifully on the forehead. But when it came to blending this part right here, you got to put a little elbow grease in this, because I really had to press and blend this contour or bronzer stick. So, but once the blend is there, it's there, honey. So I really do like how this gives that really natural bronze, sun-kissed by the skin. So we are just continuing to blend this side, and then I forgot to do my lip contour, so that's what I'm doing right here. I will say it's easier to just apply it and then blend right after. But I also didn't have any issues blending out the nose, so I don't know, it was just the cheek area, so it might have been just because of the poreless putty primer. So now for concealer, we are taking the Juvia's Place concealer, and as you guys see the placement, I'm going in a upward motion with this concealer because I want the eyes to be nice and lifted. So I'm also using this concealer to clean up the bronzer, that way it's not super dark underneath. So we're taking this D'Alba First Serum Spray, and we are spraying the face just to maintain moisture. We are in the colder months, and my skin is feeling a little dehydrated, so adding that really helps maintain moisture, and it also helps with blending out these products. So as you can see, everything is blending nice and seamless, and I am taking a little bit of that concealer on top of the eye, using that as my eye base. So now we're on to foundation. This is the Maybelline 30 Hour Wear Foundation, and y'all, this color number 350 is my absolute perfect match. Look at just how it melts into the skin. And because we're underpainting, I'm taking that foundation all over the face, even over like the area where we bronze, just so we can have a nice seamless blend. And because I'm a really bronzer type of girl, we're going to add just a teeny tiny bit more, because this really does help to sculpt my face. So now we're taking a lighter concealer from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and we are just popping that in the inner corner. And y'all, I'm already gonna let you know I use a little bit too much concealer, but we'll get to that in a minute. So as you can see, the bronzer is just blending out, and I'm getting that added depth that I wanted, so this bronzer stick layers beautifully. Now, before blending out the concealer, we're taking this Juvia's liquid blush, and this is in Blush Lily. And y'all, I was forgetting how pigmented this liquid blush is. And when I was blending it out, I was like, oh my god, is it too light? It's giving ash, but it's actually really, really gorgeous. I will say, like, for me personally, I like to let this liquid blush dry down a little bit just so I can have more control, but the color gives that perfect flush. And then just to deepen up that blush, we're taking Pink Lady, and we're gonna mostly focus this on the temple area. So we're letting that dry down a little bit, and this is when we are blending out the concealer with the sponge. As you can see, the under eyes are giving very much bright. Okay, so it all comes together though. So I'm just adding a little bit onto the lid, like I said, and then we are working on this blush. So I'm using light tapping motions, mostly focusing on the back area of my cheek, and then slowly bringing it forward. That way we have a nice gradient blush. So I really have been loving how Painted by Esther does her blush technique and really brings it underneath the eyes. So that is what I'm doing. And then just to make sure everything's blended, I'm going back in with my sponge to keep that brightness in the center of the under eye. And now we are blending out that nose area so everything can be nice and blended. And then we're going to set underneath the eyes. I'm taking this Maybelline Fit Me powder and tapping off the excess, and we are going to go ahead and set the under eyes. Y'all, I am trying to be a pressed before loose powder type of girl, but I think I just love a loose powder before using the pressed. But I'm taking this underneath the eyes and setting in the center of the face where I added concealer. And now we are on to eyeshadow. So this is the P. Louise Fluffy Fantasy eyeshadow palette, and we're going into this beautiful warm brown shade, and I'm mostly focusing that on the outer corner. So I'm taking that in a lifting motion and applying that also in the crease. So I'm using like my blush area as a guide, and then to add some depth, we're going into this Makeup by Mario palette and taking these two darker brown shades and focusing that on the outer corner, also using that in that same lifting motion. As you can see, there is a line, and I'm just following that for that lifting effect. So once we have this nice and blended out, we're going to go into the lid and we're going to set it with this beautiful peachy shade right here. And we're just going to take this peachy shade and pack it onto the lid. And this is going to give the effect of a cut crease without actually cutting the crease. So you just want to pack that all over the lid. And then once we have that nice and blended and everything's to the way we want, we're going to add some shimmer. So I'm starting with this more gold shade and using my finger to apply it to really amp it up. And then I'm going to go into that other lighter eyeshadow, which is more of a rose gold, and I'm just topping it off, and it gives a beautiful brightness to the eye. So because we want to really enhance that lift, I was like, this is the perfect time to do a wing liner. I don't do wing liner too often, but I feel like this look called for a wing liner. And y'all, the wing is snatched. Okay, look at that lift. So now we're working on the other eye, and this is a make or break moment because you want to make sure that it comes out even or as even as possible. So now we're going to go ahead and set the face using the Maybelline Fit Me powder, and I'm literally putting this all over the face, even on top of the blush. And once the face is set, we're moving on to the new Rare Beauty bronzer. I picked up the shade Radiant Warmth. And y'all, when I applied this bronzer, at first I didn't even feel like it was doing anything. I was like, is it even doing anything? But as you can see, it's creating this really beautiful sun-kissed bronze, and as you can see, it's giving kissed by the sun. And when you turn to the side, you can definitely see a difference, and I really wasn't expecting that. It literally melts into the skin like butter. It is very pigmented, so a little bit goes a long way. And I'm also using this to contour the nose, and as you can see, it is blending effortlessly. So now we're gonna go ahead and pop on some lashes. I believe these lashes I got from TikTok shop, and I really like these because they help give me that nice cat eye flirty effect. So then once the lashes are done, the face is looking blurred and snatched. Okay, so now we're moving on to blush. This is the Huda Beauty Baby Pink blush palette, and I love this blush. Okay, so we're going to start with that lighter pink shade and start on the temple area and then bring it underneath the eye. I'm keeping it really tight to the eye and mostly focusing that, you know, as close to the eye as possible, and slowly bringing it on the front apples of the cheek. Then we're taking this brighter pink shade. It's more of a hot pink, so very similar with the liquid blushes. We're doing the same like application with the powder and slowly bringing it on to the apples of the cheeks, and you can see it gives that beautiful flush. So because I'm oily, I have to bake. Okay, this is a non-negotiable for me because this really helps my makeup last all day. And of course I have to set my brows because I do get some oily brows, y'all. So as you can see, the placement, everything is going in more of a lifted motion. And then once we have the powder on, it's time to put this pink in the waterline. And this is the Made by Mitchell color case in the shade Electric. And this color case, it works great as a liner and it just glides on. So now I'm just smoking out that lower lash line, starting with that warm brown and then going into those two darker brown shades that we use in the crease and lining that on at the lash line. And then it's time to dust off all that powder because I don't want to bake too long, because even though I am still oily, the face, I don't want it to be like super dry. And then taking a clean brush with no added product, I'm just dusting the center of my face. And as you guys can see, this Glamlite powder really does blur and smooth the face. So jumping back into that fluffy fantasy palette, I'm taking a rose gold highlighter and applying that on the nose, and I'm being very careful because it is very pigmented. To add a little glow on the cheek, I'm taking this Milani Sparkling Rosé blush and I'm just lightly tapping because it is pigmented, and I'm focusing this more on the high points of the cheek, and as you see, it gives a beautiful glow to the skin. And just look at that glow, okay? It's giving. So now we're on to the lips. So it's time to powder the lips with just some translucent powder, and then I'm just taking a brown lip liner and we are lining the lips. And once the lip liner is on, it's time to move into the lip base, and I'm taking this YSL lip oil stick. And y'all, this is so pretty. I love how this was just easy to glide on. And then I'm just gonna take this HMB Cosmetics lip gloss in number 10, which is basically just a dark brown lip gloss. And I've been loving just outlining my lip liner with gloss. And then I'm gonna take this really baby pink shade in number 11 and top that in the center. And it really elevated the lip combo. Then to lock in this beat, we're taking Miss Danessa Myricks and spraying the face, and we're gonna let her dry down a little bit. And this is the key to a blurring face. Take a powder puff with no added powder and just press that setting spray into the skin, okay? The skin is giving baby doll smooth. It's giving porcelain, as if it didn't do it already. So now I'm just adding my beauty marks that I already have, popping on a little bit of mascara, and y'all, this is the final beats. It's giving sexy, sultry, flirty, girly, all the things that we want for Valentine's Day. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.